walking away from a well-paying job to like pursue a dream is probably the scariest thing that like anyone ever has to try to face. I got some new plants. Howdy friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Luke, and today we're going through 5 things I learned in 2020, so stay tuned for more. I'm typically not one for New Year's resolutions or anything like that. I may have been at one point, but as I've gotten older, I've found it more practical to take kind of a reflection period followed by some overarching goals or kind of objectives for the year or more, realistically. That's kind of how I try to treat every time there's a new year. Obviously, it's the end of January at this point. It's not always at or around January 1st that I do this either. You know, for instance, maybe in 2018 into 2019, my reflection period is more like November and December versus January. So it kind of switches up a little bit every year. But anyhow, the reason I bring that up is because I've been reflecting and I've been thinking about 2020 as a whole and how it was. I mean, it was tough for a lot of people, myself included in certain areas, not as tough as, others, but everyone has their own set of struggles, right? So I figured I kind of put together a list, or not kind of, I wanted to go through some of the things that the hardest year for most people in this world have ever experienced taught me. So let's kind of jump right into that. Number 1, life is short. Nothing like a pandemic can teach you that life is short. I've had lots of friends and family who have lost loved ones, and thankfully I haven't lost anyone in my immediate family. My mom and stepdad are sick, but hopefully they're going to recover. So far they seem to be okay, so fingers crossed. But it's ever present around us that life is short. As the pandemic started to unfold, there was things that I wanted to do that I had never done. One of them being start a channel. I mean, I've been a YouTube watcher for many years. It's basically my only form of media I consume. I mean, a little bit of like Netflix and Disney Plus, obviously, but yeah, primarily YouTube. So it was something I'd wanted to do for a long time. And as in essence the world was crumbling around me, I mean, I just kind of took to filming pin unboxings and just talking about it. Looking back, I mean, it was partially probably an escape. I just figured if I want to do it, just do it and figure it out as you go. That was something I kind of took away from that. There's things I wanted to do, mostly started a channel, but that was something I'd wanted to do for a long time, and I finally just kind of like took the initiative to just start. And it's a big step. It can be scary putting yourself out there and opening up to strangers on the internet in essence, but I think there's a lot of room for growth by doing that too, because personally it challenged me. It challenged my self-esteem. It challenged, overall confidence levels. You have to be able to take feedback, and overall the Disney community is fairly nice, but there's still people who dislike your videos or say like kind of rude stuff in the comments sometimes. So I mean, no matter how nice the community is, there's always gonna be kind of people who don't agree with your ideas. It definitely takes some courage, and it took me, I had to muster up the courage to be able to do it. So I don't know why I keep saying so. But that was something I definitely learned from 2020, is you just have to show up and put yourself out there sometimes, and you never know what will come of it. Them sweet pimples. Number 2 is creative outlets can be so therapeutic. I come from a creative family. My dad is a carpenter and my mom's an artist. So growing up, there was always things being made around me, whether it was my mom in her studio or my dad working on the house. He hand cut all these shingles and put them on the house, like on the sides, decorative shingles. So creation was always around me. And for the last, 20 years, I have not really been creative at all. I've done some creative things at work. I mean, my role requires a certain level of creativity. Over the last 5 years, I've slowly been kind of itching for some sort of creative outlet. I had done some like video stuff at my previous job, very, very light. And then when I came to my new job, I really wanted to put an emphasis on video just because for adult learners, it's a really easy way to learn. Hence why a lot of people come to YouTube. But I wasn't very good at editing, so I figured I could practice on a channel, or at least maybe that was my excuse. That was the excuse I gave myself for starting the channel, was it'd be good practice for video editing. But it has been, realistically, and I've really grown, how can I say? I've really grown fond of the editing process in general, or video, or shooting video, editing video, the posting it and stuff. I mean, I do like posting them and obviously getting feedback. It's always fun. But like some people really like to do the SEO stuff. I mean, that's not really my jam. I really more enjoy, honestly, the editing I probably enjoy the most. But yeah, it was something I didn't realize, and I find it very therapeutic. Sometimes it's stressful, don't get me wrong. I mean, like with anything, if you set deadlines for yourself and you're behind, it can be stressful, and often I'm working late at night doing it, after my full-time job. So it adds to the schedule for sure. I just enjoy it. I can't really put my finger on exactly why. I mean, there are, lots of pieces. Like I like when an edit lines up nicely, or when the music just really works with the footage, when you review the footage and you're like, oh, the lighting was great. I mean, there's lots of parts to it, but I can't really pinpoint one specific thing. Before the pandemic, the gym was kind of my release. That was something that, I mean, it's not creative, but that was kind of how I got that fix of that kind of cathartic release, if you will. But obviously when gyms and everywhere closed, that wasn't an option. So I really found solace in kind of just editing video. I'm just glad that I've come away from 2020 with a new creative outlet that I can just like truly express myself however I want, which I think is awesome. Number 3 is I am way more of an introvert than I ever thought I could be or ever knew I wanted to be. Growing up, I come from, a big family, so there's always kids around, a sibling or two. I always had friends around, like in high school, I would like wake up, ride to school with friends, be with friends all night, all the time. I was like never alone ever. And it really wasn't until I moved in on my own maybe 4 years ago that I ever spent time truly alone. I mean, of course, when I had roommates, there's times I'd be alone in my room doing this or that, but you could always kind of just go out to the dining room and see them, or the living room, or whatever. And, at first I found it kind of challenging to be alone, and I would say even up till recently, I didn't always love it. I would feel kind of lonely. But for whatever reason, maybe because the rest of the world maybe because everybody had to be home, I just developed a different routine where I got really comfortable being by myself and actually really enjoying it. I kind of enjoyed the quiet headspace quite a bit. And yeah, as the years go on, I become a little bit more and more introverted, which I just think is funny. I like to call it I'm a learned introvert. I don't know if that's actually a thing. You hear about learned extroverts and stuff for people who force themselves to be outgoing for work or whatever. I'm almost like the opposite. I prefer, as I get older, I prefer to be less and less extroverted. I'm just in meetings and stuff, I'll just kind of keep quiet. I don't care to interact as much, or I don't really want to interact in the same way that I once did. I can't really put my finger on why, but maybe I just feel like I've developed this different routine where I just kind of feel comfortable being by myself. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, that sounds so it sounds so pessimistic. I don't want anyone around. I'm a miser. And I don't mean it that way by any means. Of course, I love company. But yeah, there's something to be said about learning how to be by yourself and be comfortable with that and to actually enjoy it. Now when I have to see people, I'm like, ugh, gotta go see people. I mean, obviously not my girlfriend, but other people, work people, or have to go to an appointment. Ugh. Can't be bothered. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, that's another thing I learned about myself in 2020. Number 4 is I hate offices. I don't ever want to go back to having to work in an office. My boss has brought up the fact that he's building an office, and he kind of created this office for himself and these spaces we have, and is wanting to build it out. And I'm I'm not trying to be at an office. I really enjoy working from home. I have become quite accustomed to it. I like that I can just get up, have coffee. If I'm running late, just get up, have coffee, get some stuff done, or I mean, that's obviously not ideal. I normally like to like shower and stuff, but if that's the case, if I'm running behind, I can. No one's gonna smell me. I can just shower at night. No big deal. I like that there's no commute. I save so much on gas. I really don't ever want to go back to an office job. I will say there is something to be said about collaboration in an office space to an extent. There is a part about collaboration that you lack when you work remote, but you can be collaborative, it just has to be more targeted. I guess the better way to put it is there's less spontaneous collaboration, if you will, which from some people's perspectives could be like a waste of time. I don't think that, but some people do. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's like one benefit you have going for you if you are actually in a physical space. But, you know, the world had to learn how to work from home, and I think overall, a lot of us adapted quite quickly, or a lot of us adapted quite well. So I really hope to never have to go back to working in an office. Number 5 is I don't think I want to keep my job. I don't think I want to keep doing what I'm doing for the rest of my life. At one point, I found some joy in it. You know, it's not terrible. I work in trading. I'm a training director for a restaurant group. It's fine. It pays the bills. As far as office jobs go, it's a decent one. It pays well. I've learned a lot. It's pretty flexible, but I'm just not passionate about it. I don't love it, and I don't know if I want to do it for the rest of my life. At one point, I wanted to like climb the corporate ladder or whatever. Oh, I like feel disgusting even saying that. Ugh. I just kind of fell into a corporate role and continued to grow, and I've been fairly successful at it and, you know, done well for myself, but it's not what I want to do long term, and I don't even know how to like come to terms with that 100%. I don't even know what else I want to do. I have some ideas. I like feel stupid even saying it out loud. Oh my god. Want to start a creative production company or like marketing firm or media company, something like that. I have a friend, he's a great graphic designer. I have another friend, she's a great photographer. I'm business savvy and creative, so I think it'd be a cool fit. I don't know if it would ever work, but it's an idea. Or maybe I want to like be a photographer or something. I don't know. I've kind of fell in love with photo and video throughout this whole YouTube process. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I can't, like, walking away from a well-paying job to like pursue a dream is probably the scariest thing that like anyone ever has to try to face, and I don't even know if I can, but I have the realization that I want to take steps towards it. Whatever that is exactly, I don't know, but currently the steps are just keep making things, whether it's just YouTube videos or maybe short films, or keep taking pictures. So I mean, I have like a photo account, Luke Likes Pics, I'll leave it somewhere, and like just take pictures and post them there, even if it's just that, just to stay creative and kind of keep those juices flowing, keep learning, keep creating. Those are kind of the steps I'm at right now. I don't know, am I crazy? Am I like losing it? Also, another part of me wants to just like walk away from everything and go live in the woods somewhere and just like, I don't know, build a cabin or something crazy, and like a decent portion of me wants to do something like that. And I don't know if I'm losing it slightly, or if maybe I'm spooked from the pandemic, or I don't fully know. But what I did realize about myself in 2020 is I want to work for myself somehow, or work for, you know, like a business that I share with friends or something like that. I don't know that I want to work for a giant corporation forever. While yes, there's a lot of benefits, I don't know if ultimately it's super fulfilling for me, and it challenges me in ways, but I'm not as creative as I'd like to be. I would love to do something much more creative. So I don't know, am I going crazy? Am I losing it? What do you guys think? Has anyone else had feelings like this throughout this year? Is it just I'm sure some people are going to say in the comments, oh, it's just a product of the pandemic, everyone's feeling a little funny, but I don't know. These are things I've been thinking about for some time, and really sitting with a lot of these thoughts in 2020. A lot of this stuff kind of was coming up a little bit before. Do you guys think I'm losing it? Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I'll just like move to the woods of Wyoming. I don't know. What would I even do? Can you even get internet there? I have no idea. That's the thing, is I want to live in the woods, but I want really good internet. Because of course if I move to the woods, I'm taking you guys with me, and we're going to do it together, obviously. Obviously. Yeah, that's like the stipulation. Side note, I've been watching this YouTube channel called Ghost Town Living. It's about this guy who bought a ghost town in California, and he lives there alone. Sometimes he has like friends stay and help, but I love it. I watch it and I'm like, that looks great. That looks so peaceful and relaxing and quiet. Well, yes, there's a lot of stress, like his life has stressors, but it in a way just seems so stress-free. I mean, I know it's not, because he kind of talks a little bit about it, but man, maybe I just need to take a weekend trip out there. Ghost Town Living, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna send you a DM, see if I can spend like a weekend out in Cerro Gordo. I'd say 40% of me wants to just like say F it and go do something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.